There's two things I want to talk about from book one that I completely forgot to talk about before we get into book two. The first thing is to do with the main character's friend, and his first friend, is a better person than I would have been, because the main character gave a mafia his name, then kept it hidden from his friend that entire time. Even when someone was calling for his friend to come to them, he didn't say anything. Even when he was paranoid and terrified that the mafia was coming for him, he does not tell his friend. He does not tell his friend when the mafia shows up at his house, threatens his home, does not tell his friend. Now, his friend gets so kidnapped and taken off and beaten before his friend finds out what's going on. Like, his friend is so much more better than I would have been, because I would have been furious. I've been like, you gave the mafia my goddamn name. You sold me out to the mafia, because that's basically selling his friend out to the mafia, right? Like, the main character sold his first friend out to the mafia. Like, dude got beaten, literally beaten. And yes, the main character was upset for him, but like, dude has all rights to cut off a relationship. All the main character had to do to get back in his good graces was buying him meals for a whole month. That would not be good enough for me. That would not be good enough for me. The second thing I want to talk about is how disrespectful, like, it's understandable how disrespectful the main character is to his bosses because of what they did to him and his family and his friends and his home. But like, dude, shut your mouth. Like, every time he gets into a fist fight or he talks back, I'm just sitting there freaking out, telling him to shut his mouth. I'm like, just stay out of it. Keep your mouth shut. Don't fight back. Like, you only have to work for them for a year. Your contract says a year. Just deal with it. Get away with it. Like, you're just making the moral lead more attracted to you, more notice of you. Because again, that male lead outright states it himself that the more the main character fights back, the more he's attracted to the main character. But again, it's not that. Like, just, honey, it freaks me out when he talks back or he fights back, like gets into physical fights with his boss. It stresses me out so much. So that horrible, vile scene continues in on book two, the scene where the male lead forces himself on the main character while the main character's under the influence of the drugs. And it's just horrible. It's vile. I was super upset. Like, I was shaking reading this scene because I wanted to get into it. I wanted to fight and protect the main character from the male lead. And what pisses me off more while reading on is that the male lead doesn't acknowledge what he did to the main character. He doesn't at all acknowledges that he forced himself on the main character. Because again, the main character starts saying, no, it hurts, get away from me, stop. Like, he was begging it for it to stop. That yes, he gave his permission, but again, it's not really giving permission when he was under the influence of drugs and he wanted the pain to go away. Like, the male lead should have taken him to a hospital instead of listening to the main character say, yes, please sleep with me, or get me somebody to sleep with me. Instead, the male lead should have took the main character to a hospital where he would have been safe, or brought the main character toys, brought the main character back to their base and gave the main character toys. He shouldn't have laid hands on the main character at all. Like, I was pissed. And the fact that he does not acknowledge what he did to the main character angers me. He does take the main character to a hospital afterwards because, again, the main character's bleeding. For a man who literally sleeps with a ton of men, the male lead seems like he doesn't have any experience with sleeping with dudes at all. Or sleeping with anyone. Like, he has zero experience. It's probably why his lovers come out of his room and leaves his place looking like they've been in a fight, because he's probably terrible at doing it. He's probably vile. And we see how the main character ended up being treated while they slept together, because again, he would have bled anyways because the male lead forced himself on the main character. But again, the male lead didn't go through the procedures of sleeping with someone who's having their freaking first time with a man who the first time bottoming. Like, he treats the main character like the main character has history, has experience. But again, even an experienced person probably couldn't handle the shit the male lead put the main character through. That angers me. But yeah, the male lead takes the main character to the hospital, and the doctor is horrified when he sees how badly the main character has been treated. Like, I am so sick and upset for the main character. So the main character gets home. He's with his brother. He tries to commit suicide, or at least accidental suicide, and his brother has to stop him because the main character is having such terrible thoughts, terrible opinions of himself, of what's done to him by the male lead and the person who drugged him, which is the male lead's eldest cousin. Like, what these two did to him, he's having bad thoughts that he almost offed himself. It is super vile and so terrible, and I was literally shaking. And, like, his brother catches him, his brother's upset, his brother is hysterical, he's crying over it, the main character has to hold him, promised that he wasn't going to do what he thought he was doing, but his brother's putting him on a watch, like, he is watching him. Also, from TikToks and from fanfics, I assumed after the main character got, forced upon by the Melly dragged the main character to his ex-head bodyguard and another one of the bodyguards and had them punish the main character and beat the main character for getting drugged and then being forced upon. I thought that happened from things, but that could be actually just the TV series. It happened in the TV series because that doesn't happen in the book. Like, the Melly takes the main character to the hospital and then takes the main character home. Does this happen down the line in the book series, or this was just a TV series? Like, because anyone has answers for that? Because I assume from fanfics and TikToks I've seen, the Melly has the main character punished by the hands of the two other bodyguards that works for him. I love the main character's little brother. He is amazing. Like, once he's done taking care of the main character, he rushes to the main character's workplace, finds the Melly's father, and literally threatens the dude. Gets into a whole argument with the dude about how his brother is being treated. He wants his brother fired. He wants his brother to be forced to quit. Like, he does not want his brother working for these people anymore because he's tired of having to take care of his injured, sick, and depressed brother. Like, his brother almost committed suicide right in front of him, and he is done with it. Like, he is pissed. So both the main characters' younger brothers know each other, and from fanfics and TikToks, I learned that once the main character got hired as the male lead's bodyguard, the younger brother of the male lead was suspicious, so he started looking into the main characters and his younger brother's history and their backgrounds, and he decided to get close to the main character's younger brother and started tutoring him and taking care of him, but it was to use him. And later down the line, he breaks the younger brother's heart. And the younger brother is horribly upset over it. And again, the younger brother supposedly did not know what was going on, didn't know his brother was working for the mafia, didn't know that the person he liked was working for the mafia too, or is part of the mafia family. Like, he didn't know all of this. But in the book, it's going to show how the two know each other. He's just very upset when he sees the Melly's brother because they see each other when he's arguing with the Melly's father. So does that all happen in the books and it happens down the line of the book? Or does their whole meet up and get to know each other in a sour relationship later reveals to be something else? And was this just a TV series thing? Because again, I'm assuming that this was probably from the TV series.